Hallelujah. 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 Shabbat shalom, Lakim.
Shabbat shalom, Lakim.
Peaceful Sabbath to you all. Praying that the Creator is continuing to work in our lives. Thanking Him for a wonderful lunch break, for providing for us food and all the things that nourishes our body. We pray that the food will nourish our bodies, that it will not cause harm to us all. Praying that the Creator will continue to watch over us as He has so far. We have dwelt in this building in peace, and love, and happiness, and joy. And we thank Yah, and we pray that Yah would even extend even those very same things throughout the week for us, even in our own homes. Blessed be the name of the Holy One of Israel. This time, let us sing together the song of Thy wondrous works will tell, to tell of the wondrous works of Yah, because He is so magnificent, and He is awesome in our lives, and He's working every day in our lives, and we can for surety say, of Thy wondrous works, we can tell.
Amen.
The heavens declare it, the glory is thine, the earth and its beauty shows honor divine. Our Yah, the Creator of everything, to Thee we lift up our voice and praise. We'll sing of the might of Yah, Yah of our God. It's our God, the Yah of Israel. He maketh God and light, war and calm. Of Thy wondrous works we'll tell, and when we do falter, we'll cry unto Thee. For lo, when Thou hearest, Thy mercy will be. Thou sendest Thine angel to show us the way. To Thee we send up our praise and praise. We pray, sing of the might of Yah, Yah of our God. It's our God, the Yah of Israel. He maketh dark and light, war and calm. Of Thy wondrous works we'll tell. Sing of the might of Yah, Yah of our God. It's our Yah, the Yah of Israel. He maketh dark and light, war and calm. Of Thy wondrous works we'll tell. Hallelujah. Please be seated, Babakish. Shabbat shalom to Kim.
Shabbat shalom, Lakim.
Giving thanks and praise to the Most High. Praying that y'all would even hear even our internal prayers, our private prayers, even at this time, as we begin to even call upon some of our youth for the Tehillim, the Psalms, to give praise unto the Most High once again on this holy Shabbat day. At this time, we're going to have our usual Shabbat Psalms, the 79th, the 121st, the 124th, and we conclude with the 148th Psalm. And at this time, let us even welcome and still focusing on our youth and even paying close attention to them because they are our future and we want to continue to encourage them and inspire them. So please, with a warm round of applause, let us even receive warmly our first psalmist, even Becorah Naim, Ben Akibiyahu, Ben Naphtali. There's your mic.
Psalms. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Laka.
Psalms 121.
No, Psalm
79.
Oh yeah, the heathen are coming into thine inheritance. Defiled thy holy place. They have defiled thy holy temple. They have made Jerusalem into heaps.
They have given the dead bodies of thy servants to be food unto the fowls of the heavens, the flesh of thy holy ones unto the beasts of the earth.
They have shed their blood like water round about Jerusalem, with none to bury them.
We are become a taunt to our neighbors, a scorn and derision to them that are round about us.
How long, O Yah, wilt thou be angry forever? How long will thy jealousy burn like fire?
Pour out thy wrath upon the nations that know thee not, and upon the kingdoms that call not upon thy name.
For they have devoured Yaakov and laid waste his habitation.
Remember not against us the iniquities of our forefathers. Let thy compassion speedily come to meet us, for we are brought very low.
Help us, O Yah, our salvation, for the sake of the glory of thy name, and deliver us, and forgive our sins for thy name's sake.
Wherefore should the nations say, where is their power? Let the avenging of thy servants' blood that is shed be made known among the nations in our sight.
Let the groaning of the prisoner come before thee, according to the greatness of thy power. Set free those that are appointed to death.
And render unto our neighbors sevenfold into their bosom their reproach wherewith they have reproached thee, O Yah.
So we that are thy people and the flock of thy pasture will give thee thanks forever. We will tell of thy praise to all generations.
Hallelujah.
Torah that we can be here today, and Torah that we can praise his holy name. Torah that we can see another day of life. Torah that we can see another year of life. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Continuing in the praises of the Holy One of Israel, let us even warmly receive one of our Becorot in our midst, Becorah Nishlakia Bar Aluf Malaki Ben Naphtali. Hallelujah.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom La.
Psalms 121. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I will lift up my eyes unto the mountains, for whence shall my help come?
My help cometh from Jehovah, who made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved, that he keepeth thee will not slumber.
Behold, he that keepeth Israel doth neither slumber nor sleep.
Jehovah is thy keeper, Jehovah is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night.
Jehovah shall keep thee from all evil, he shall keep thy soul.
Jehovah shall guard thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth and forever.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Once again, Shabbat Shalom to all of you.
Shabbat Shalom.
It's so good to see all you guys again. It's been a minute. And yeah, hopefully you guys have a good Shabbat.
Hallelujah. Continue on. We're going back to the male side. Let us even warmly receive Becorah in our midst. Becorah Taklikia Ben Aktayel. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
124. If it had not been Yahuwah who was for us, let Israel now say.
If it had not been Yahuwah who was for us, when men rose up against us,
Then they had swallowed us up alive when their wrath was kindled against us.
when the waters had overwhelmed us, the stream had gone over our souls.
Then the proud waters had gone our souls.
Blessed be Yahuwah, who has not given us as a prey to their teeth.
Our souls escaped as a bird, or the snare of the fowlers. The snare is broken and we are escaped.
Our hope is in the name of Yahuwah, who made heaven and earth.
I just want to say Torah Yah for my life, Torah Yah for everyone, and Torah Yah for another year, and Torah Yah for another year so I can praise Yah.
Amen. Hallelujah. Last but certainly not least, let us go back to the female side and let us warmly receive for the last Psalm 148, even Becorah Hayafa Chetzia Ba'ako Kodael. Hallelujah. Shabbat Shalom.
Psalm 148. Praise ye Yahuwah from the heavens, praise him in the heights.
Praise him, all his angels, praise him, all his hosts.
Praise ye sun and moon, praise him, all ye stars of light.
Praise him, ye heavens of heavens, and ye waters that are above the heavens.
Let them praise Yahuwah, for he commanded and they were created.
He hath also established them forever and ever. He hath made a decree which shall not be transgressed.
Praise Yahuwah from the earth, ye sea monsters and all these.
Fire and hail, snow and vapor, stormy wind fulfilling his word.
Mountains and hills, fruitful trees and all cedars.
Beasts and all cattle, creeping things and winged fowl.
Kings of the earth and all peoples, princes and all judges of the earth.
Both young men and maidens, old men and children.
Let them praise the name of God, for his name alone is exalted. His glory is above the earth and heaven.
And he hath lifted up a horn for his people, a praise for all his holy ones, even for the children of Israel, a people near unto him. Hallelujah.
I just want to say thank you, Yah, for seeing the next day, seeing all your faces again. It's been a very long time. I haven't seen my grandmother. I was so happy to see her.
Hallelujah.
And that made me cry once.
Hallelujah.
And all I want to say is thank you, Yah, for being here and seeing all your faces.
Amen. Hallelujah. All glory and honor belongs to the Holy One of Israel. For our youth, we encourage them and we inspire them. May Yah put a special spirit upon them, because they're the ones that's going to take on the mantle and pick up where we left off, and praying that Yah will be with them to do great and wonderful things for this nation of Israel. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Please stand before we go into our other segment. We have a short, these days are short, you know that. But when it comes to the Creator, that's an everyday, 24-hour, 7-day-a-week job. So we praise the Most High. Let us sing the song, Unity. Let us sing it like we mean it, and sing it like we want unity in our nation and in our lives once again. It starts off with families, individual thinking, knowing that you want unity, then it spills over to family, and then over to nation. And that's when we become even the people of the Most High, truly under Yah's hand and his arm. Hallelujah. Let us sing it. Yahweh. Fingers spread, her hand is with, how to gain the strength to see, close hands, make us sing and that's the only way to stand. Unity. Come on, Israel. Make us free. A chain that has. A chain that has. So we can live.
Togetherness. Togetherness will make us strong. Unity shall be our song, our strength right there. The will to be right up under with unity. Togetherness. Togetherness will make us strong. Unity shall be our song, our strength and the will to be right up under in Hebrew, Becorah, 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 when I wake up, I give thanks to God. To you, oh yeah, I will give my praise, 'cause I know that my God lives. He lives within me, He lives within you. So what you gonna do? All you have to say is God. God, my God lives in me. God, my God lives in me. In the morning, when I wake up, I give thanks to God. To you, oh yeah, I will give my praise, 'cause I know that my God lives. He lives within me, He lives within you. So what you gonna do? All you have to say is God, God, my God lives in me. God, God, my God lives in me. In the morning, when I wake up, I give thanks to God. To you, oh yeah, I will give my praise, 'cause I know that my God lives. He lives within me, He lives within you. So what you gonna do? All you have to say is God, God, my God lives in me. God, God, my God lives in me. Hallelujah! 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 God time! God time! God time! Hallelujah! Before we're seated, let us even warmly receive another one of our Becorah, our young women in our midst. She's going to bring forth the what's going on, and she wants to do a question and answer period. Go easy on her now, but this is the challenge that the youth want to take on, so let us inspire them and encourage them. Becorah na Cueva, Vamos a
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
You guys can sit down. You made it
Settle down, settle down.
I just want to give all honors and glory to the Most High
Somebody bring us some more.
for waking me up this morning to see another day alive. Is that hot or is it just Okay. As you know, the youth are taking over this week. So I will be doing part of the afternoon service. What's going on? Okay. So, did you guys hear about the bomb threat at Charlotte Douglas Airport? No. It happened when the sun was going down, so. I didn't want to move the mic. But yeah, the person was arrested, so it's okay. You guys can go to the airport now. Okay, then this one's a good one. Okay, so. Okay, so there's a a California inmate was sentenced to death Thursday for the 2013 killing of his transgender cellmate. He really didn't want to be in the cell with that transgender person. It was a female or a male or whatever it was. I don't know what it was. It was an it, yeah. Did anybody hear about that?
Yeah. He died by electrocution.
Did he? I didn't hear that.
He wanted to do the electric
You can stand up.
chair. He died by electric chair. Shabbat shalom. He died by the electric chair, and this is the second time that they used it. Usually they do lethal injection, but he wanted to do the electric chair.
I wanted to go to the max. Right. Literally.
Okay, so people are becoming hesitant when riding in Uber because they released the safety report. Then 3,045 people are being sexually assaulted. Wow. And that's in 2018. Wow. And 229 people are being raped. And there was 9 murders. But that's between the riders and the drivers. So it's just not riders that are being assaulted. It's the drivers too, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Shabbat shalom. The report, 2 reports came out on Uber and Lyft.
Yeah.
They both had the same kind of statistics of people being sexually assaulted, and they want to, I think Uber wants to put like a camera in the car where you're going to be recorded all the time.
Yeah.
And then they also want to put some features on phones where you could do like an emergency call. They call it a non-emergency call. But it's basically like an emergency call, not life-threatening. But to me, if somebody's trying to rape you, that's a life-threatening call. So I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah, fine.
A lot of mistakes I see people do on the regular. I drive for Lyft 3 days a week. It's very important you pay attention, that you're getting in the right car. That's right. A lot of people just jump in the car and just say, okay, figure you take me where I'm going. That's a no-no. Lose this while you're in the car. A lot of people do this the whole entire ride. That's bad. People watch behaviors. They watch your behaviors. And so before you get in the car, make sure it's the car you're supposed to get in. They ask if you're supposed to have 2 plates. One on the back and one in the windshield. Make sure you look on your phone to see what plate is supposed to be for you. And be aware the entire ride. I see this with Nasheen women all the time. They get in the car and they like this the whole entire time. That's not a good move. You need to be paying attention, and please, parents, don't call an Uber for your child. I see a lot of parents do that, and you don't know where your children are going. There's a last thing. There's 2 things. One on this thing called Tubi, another one on Netflix. They're both about, what's the thing with transport? Sex trafficking. This thing is serious. And so when you put your child, you call an Uber, people do this too. I'm calling an Uber for my friend. They can't track you. They can't track you. And so when I'm saying, again, you have to be aware and don't just get in the car with any old body. Because the drivers for Uber, they might pass this kind of check, but they don't pass that kind of check. And so it's important that male and female, they're harvesting organs, money. So don't call an Uber for your child and put your child into a car with somebody. Make sure there are restrictions and there's an order so you know where your children are.
Also, just add that you can share your ride with somebody. So what if Gibby's taking an Uber and it's late, and I told her to share her ride with me, and I can see when she gets home, and I'm watching. So anybody, feel free to share it with somebody that can at least track it and know when you get home.
Also for the drivers, because I also drive for Uber and Lyft, and with Uber, the criminals are taking advantage of us knowing that there's all these sex trafficking things going on, that I was hacked, like they created a dummy account as a rider, and so it wasn't even that person, so you gotta watch for that too.
Okay, Shabbat Shalom, Ken. To add to what everyone else is saying, the other thing about Uber, because I drive from time to time for Uber, they ask me, they say, well, you know my name is Shake Me Out. So when I see them have a puzzled look on their face, and I'll go, oh, my name is Shake Me Out. But that doesn't just work for me. I want to know your name too, because your name pops up on my phone. So are you so-and-so? You understand? And so those are the things that you have to do, you have to be aware of, and you have to make sure, because sometimes they just want to feel safe. And so it is true, some of them will check my license plate, because your license plate shows up on their phone, and I don't have a problem with that. And so you just have to be safe, just like they want to be safe. You have to be safe as well. You have to make sure that it's the person that you're picking up.
Shabbat Shalom. Shalom. Before you get into a car, check the door and see if it's on Shabbat.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know how to look, where to look for the child lock switch, but before you get in, just see if it's on child lock.
I have a button in my car. I can child lock it from the front. I'm just saying. So cars are well bed.
That's the new car. That's the new
Well, the Judiciary Committee plans to hold its next impeachment hearing on Monday for Donald Trump. So we're getting a new president, guys.
Yes.
They gonna ride this last year out before they figure out what they gonna do.
We're getting a new Donald Trump is being impeached.
Shabbat Shalom. President Kennedy, sorry? What?
Say what?
President, is there any people in line?
I'm just saying that he's gonna vote.
Shabbat Shalom. Two things. On the last thing that we were talking about, there is a safe and reliable transportation system called Becorah.
Yes.
That's specifically for children between the ages of 6 and 17.
Tell them about it.
And I drive for a program, a car service called Becorah, where all the drivers are checked. I think it's like 7 checkpoints. And I am the Charlotte area manager, and I do the final interview for people.
Yes, I am.
So if you come to me and you have a little twitch or something that doesn't seem right, then there's a possibility that you might not go through. But there are safe and reliable transportation systems. And for all the drivers, you can talk to me later if you would like to join Becorah too. But they said in reference to the impeachment, that even though they introduced the article of impeachment, and he may be impeached, there's a possibility that he'll still be in the White House. He'll still be working in the White House. So I don't know what this whole impeachment thing is.
Okay, last question because I have to move on.
With all the Republicans in there, they're never going to get him out of there. The only way you're going to get him out of there is you vote him out. That's the only way.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay, now we'll be moving on to the question and answer period.
Okay.
So anyone can ask a question. Anyone can answer a question, please, so I don't have to answer it. We will ask that if in an event of a controversy that the final decision rests among the Kohanim. Not because they know more, but because we want to maintain order in the house of Yah. That question and answer period is now open.
Sar would be proud.
Okay. Any questions? Yeah.
This question is specifically to you.
Okay.
I'm new to this way of life and culture, and so somebody was telling me I need to cut Christmas out of my family diet, and I need to know why. I need you to tell me why I don't need to keep Christmas in.
Okay.
She said she didn't want to answer the question.
Okay, well, why you shouldn't do Christmas?
Right.
Well, because first, JC isn't, like, he wasn't born on that day. He doesn't exist. So what are you doing Christmas for if he wasn't born on the day? Second, I don't understand, like, sorry, I don't want to make a, like, question towards you, but I don't understand why people do holidays that doesn't have anything to do with their religion. They just do holidays just because like everybody else is doing it. Like Thanksgiving, they don't know why you do Thanksgiving. So if you're doing, people were killed on Thanksgiving, so why are you doing Thanksgiving? So I don't understand. But I don't think you should do Christmas because JC wasn't born on that day. So, and he wasn't born at all. So you're just giving you're just giving glory to somebody who doesn't exist, basically.
All right.
Yeah.
I would say to them that one, the laws of the Most High, it tells us directly not to worship any other deities, any other powers before the Most High, and celebrating a deity's birthday is a direct violation of that. So whether they thought he was born on the day or not, they're still thinking in their mind that he was. So if you're giving credence to this deity, you're still in violation.
Shabbat shalom. Yeah, one thing I like to add as well, when people kind of ask me about what I do, I let them know that I let them know we follow the laws that's in the Bible. So it doesn't mention anything in the Bible as far as following this day on December 25th. But it does mention things like the Sabbath that we're supposed to rest on the seventh day. It mentions things like the Passover that we're supposed to observe. So that's one angle that I bring. We like to follow what God actually told us to do and not just what everybody else is doing. We follow the crowd.
The question is, how do you explain that to an adult to tell their children? Because a lot of people who do that, they use the children as an excuse or a reason to do something. So how do we direct them to give the knowledge to the kids and make the kids understand why this day is not?
Are you asking a question?
That's a good question.
Oh, we're still on the same question right now.
Yeah. I just want to add feedback.
How do you
Okay, Uncle Beach.
Just say no question.
Okay, are we still on this? We're still on the same question.
Yeah. So he wants you to answer, how do you compare it to an adult for their children? Does anyone want to answer that question?
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't get your question. Could you repeat that, please?
The question is, how do we explain that to children who don't know about that day?
Explain to children why we shouldn't do Christmas?
Yeah.
Well, I would've.
Like I have friends who celebrate that day and they ask me why. So how do I explain to the parent to tell the children to make them understand why they shouldn't celebrate that day?
Does anyone want to answer that question? Damashia? Or Uncle Kanani?
Both sides together being great toward and understand fully what it's about. If you tell them, the most you can do is try and keep them away from it. They keep it like we grew up, they had these Xmas parties, different stuff. Mom always kept us home from around that time of the year or that school year when the exams were finished. You just in school playing around, they keep all these events, you usually keep them away. Even if you tell them, they get amongst their friends and stuff, you see gifts exchange, they're gonna jump right in. So you just try and keep them away as much as possible. You can explain to them, okay, this is not a part of our culture. We do the laws of the Most High, we do all this. But still, when they get with their friends, they're gonna jump in, they candy, exchange gifts, and sometimes they feel kind of. But you gotta show them that they get gifts all through the year.
Right.
Just things, we got things all through the year, not just this time.
Okay.
You're able to take those.
Okay, stop.
But then also, I thought about when he posed the question was, okay, you have a family that's been doing this.
Right.
So the children have been doing this for a while.
Right.
So I'm thinking your question is, okay, now after we've been doing this or the children have been doing this for some years, how do I now tell them, or how do a parent now tell them that we can no longer do this, or you cannot go to your friend's house anymore, or to share gifts and all that? How do you transition the children out of it?
You have an answer?
No, I was adding on because I thought that's what he was saying.
Okay, so Shabbat Shalom. What I would tell a parent to tell their children that's been doing Christmas, like to stop doing it, on top of showing them examples like in the book where it doesn't say to do it, Purim, just be like, although we don't do Xmas anymore, we have Purim, and then go through the history of Purim and be like, we could go all out for this, however, it's for a better cause.
Shabbat shalom. Yeah, I don't think I need that, but I think that the conversation that should be had with the parents is really asking them what foundation they want to give their children. Do they want their children to have a foundation based on a lie or on truth? And really have that heart-to-heart conversation with the parent, because once you bring the parent into the righteous understanding, they have the authority to make their kids do whatever they want to do. It's not really up to the children. It's really you converting that parent's mind. You know, just like you raise them with the tooth fairy and all these other kind of lies, having that conversation with them. Are we going to raise your children on truth or on a lie? As simple as that.
I make it work.
I now have an answer to my question.
Shabbat shalom again. I think what we can start doing with the children is even like, okay, we know we have our own holy days. Big up our holy days like we used to big up their holidays or whatnot. Okay, you can give, who said you can't give gifts? I mean, not under the tree or nothing like that. Who said you can't give gifts during our holy days? Who said you can't go and have a family dinner during our holy days? Explain to the children, we got 9 other holy days. Well, hey, I mean, you can't do that on people. But we have other holy days where we can party and throw down like we used to when we was living what was not the truth. So they're actually getting more than what they're actually being taken away from. So if we big up our holy days like that, they're not going to miss it.
Okay, this is the last one, and then we're going to go to the question.
Okay. Shabbat Shalom. I just want to say on a sensitive note that telling people or getting people when they learn about this way of life and telling them the truth about Christmas is a very traumatic experience. And sometimes you have to treat it with such a care because it's very traumatic. Even when children grow up and they find out certain things about their own holidays, it's a traumatic experience when they find out these things are not real. But as the parent, you are the one who set the foundation. So once you learn the truth, then you just simply tell them the truth. And after a while, it'll just go away.
He has another question.
Yeah.
Just wanted to say that Shabbat Shalom Lakem. Please, Shabbat Shalom. I don't think I need it. If you combine what Misharei Netanyahu said with what Coach Raquel said, I think that would be very helpful. One, do you want to lie to your children? And you're showing them that that can have a psychological, it's known that you can give a child psychological damage. Besides teaching them to lie, you also, when they find out there is no Santa Claus, you want to deal with Santa Claus and let them know, I bought these gifts. That child is being told that Santa Claus has done it, and he's a European. It's also a psychological damage for them to not respect you as your hard work for giving it to them. But they're now beginning to give that credit to Jesus, the slave master, the whole bit, because it's just another image that is put before them to redirect them from you, from the Most High, to falsehood, like he said. So you want to let them know that you don't want to lie to them. You apologize. I've been lying to you. Santa Claus don't exist. You know we don't even have a chimney in this house. Children know how to think logically. Just break that down in that manner and let them know I'm being honest with you. I'm trying to be an honest person. And also you want them to know that that's not truth. It's a violation. Because if you're teaching them to respect the Creator, for whom they might call God, you also want them to know that you as the parents, are dishonoring the Creator to not give the glory to the Most High, and they're giving it to a false deity. More importantly, you have to also give them gifts. A lot of times we don't give our children gifts when we come into this way of life. So you need to, as someone said, dig up some of those holy days and make sure that we make those days memorable, and so they don't have to feel that they've lost anything, but they've gained something.
You guys see me?
No question.
This question is to Kohen. Hallelujah. Which one? Kohen. A couple of the brothers we speaking this week, and we want to know, is it okay in the Israelite culture for the brothers or sisters to marry outside of the race? But I just gonna ask everybody just keep it down so we can have a clear answer.
First I want to say this.
Then I have a follow-up question.
First of all, then once again, Shabbat Shalom to King.
Shabbat Shalom.
The instructions of the Creator are that everything should reproduce after its own kind. That's the general rule. But anyone who knows and understands the Creator knows that there are also exceptions to his rule. That's what makes him the Creator and the Most High. Joseph married an Egyptian woman who was the daughter of the priest, and that meant that even in that case, that wife was serving perhaps another god when he met her. Moses, because of circumstances like Joseph, no longer being among our people, he married Becorah, who was a Midianite. When you look at Boaz, and you look at what happened with the Moabite woman Ruth, then we know that that was also the will of the Creator. We wouldn't have King David if we didn't have that genealogy. So we have examples to show that there are exceptions to the rule. In each of those cases, it was the hand of the Most High that decreed that and established that exception. That's what an individual has to think about. When you marry outside of your nation, you are also, again, mixing your seed. So a person who does that has to figure out whether you're going out of your seed or someone is grafted in. You also send a message that may not be the right message to your children. Because when a child marries someone that doesn't look like their mother or father, it says that maybe they don't love their mother or father. Because a child should be raised up to be able to look at their parents and say, I want to marry someone like my mother, like my father. So our teachings and examples of how we live our lives have a great impact on how our children are going to make their decision. If you were a poor father and you didn't take care of your children, you didn't respect your wife, your daughter might grow up to marry someone else because she didn't like the father that she had, or vice versa with a daughter. But by rule, by understanding of the importance of seed and remaining in the covenant, having the heritage that is the heritage of Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yisrael, to marry out of that, you are now, sometimes you think you're marrying out, but you're being cut off. That's how people get cut off. Sometimes because Jehovah makes you marry someone else out, and if your children do that, you keep marrying out, and you'll eventually no longer be in the covenant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It's a very deep decision. It's very spiritual to look at that partner that you're taking. In the case of Ruth, she said, your God will be my God, and your people will be my people. Those are some of the things that give you the understanding of whether. But no one should leave the home looking to marry a foreigner. That's not how it happens. It has to be something that circumstances and life brought you to such a decision, and you can see that it's not just you doing it, but it's the hand of the Holy One of Israel. I could say more, but time doesn't permit.
No, part two. Okay, guess I can go again. Shabbat shalom once again. Why do you stress to us and to the Israelite communities that we should change our attire to start dressing in culture?
Good question.
Just one moment. Just want to get a precept that I want to read to you to again help explain what I'm about to say.
That's Zephaniah 3. I think it's 3.
I'm reading for the book of Habakkuk.
Foreign fire one is Zephaniah.
This is going to be a new precept for me. Sponges out.
One of the things I want to say to you is that the importance of our putting on our culture has to do with that we represent a culture of righteousness. Culture is not just you dress, how you dress, but the reflection of a holy dress and lifestyle also says who you are. So if you are wearing revealing garments, it says that you're a loose woman. That's how people identify a prostitute. She never speaks. She walks a certain way. She has on a certain type of an attire that attracts a man to know. If you remember when Yehuda got in trouble, he knew she was a prostitute because of how she dressed. In those days, she also covered her face because they didn't want no one else to know that she was a prostitute. That's why she wore a veil. So again, you have to realize that that's what we must realize when the Most High is telling us to wear our culture and to not be viewed as someone who is lacking culture. If you behave in a way that says you're not a cultured person, it's not just your dress. That's why the prostitute has a behavior that also tells you that she is. The time of night that she's walking the street alone. A woman that's married is not going to be walking the street dressed in revealing type of clothing, and then at the same time, again, considered to be a woman that is a woman of righteousness and holiness. In the book of Habakkuk, it says this here, and these are the words that I just want to say to you. The Most High says that He's going to cut off those that have on foreign apparel.
Zephaniah 1.
Zephaniah
1, 8.
So it says here, it says, and their horses also are swifter than leopards, and are more fierce than the wolves of the desert. And their horsemen spread themselves, yea, their horsemen come from far. They fly as the vulture that hasteneth. They come, all of them, for violence. Their faces are set evilly as the east wind, and they gather themselves as the sand, gather captives as the sand. And they scoff at kings, and the princes of are derision to them, unto them. They deride every stronghold, for they heap up earth and take it. Then the spirit doth pass over and transgress, and they become guilty, and who impute their might unto their deities. That's not the line I want. Which one you
Zephaniah 1, 8.
Okay, told them about that. That's what we want. Okay, we did it. So then, my teachers that I teach, they always help me out too. So again, here's it says. But I just want you to know the prophets speak of what we must look for. That's verse 8. Take it from 7. Hold thy peace at the presence of Yehovah Elohim. For the day of Yehovah is at hand, meaning the future. For Yah hath prepared a sacrifice. He hath consecrated his guests. And it shall come to pass in the day of Yehovah's sacrifice. We're making a sacrifice by giving up the ways of the heathen, by returning to give glory to the Holy One of Israel. In our diet, we're doing it. In our dress, if we buy their clothes and wear them, we're promoting their economy. We're also promoting those styles that they call Gucci and all of that other stuff. It shall come to pass in the day of Yehovah's sacrifice that I will punish the princes and the king's sons, and all such are clothed with foreign apparel. In the same day also, I will punish all those that leap over the threshold, practicing the things. So when you do a Jewish wedding, and you do the customs of other people, you're offending the creator of heaven and earth. And that's why he's saying he's going to deal with that, because there's some Israelites willing to come back, but they don't want to do everything that you have to do. We try to split the hairs. Splitting hairs, this week it was said, Toda, that they've now discovered that dyeing your hair causes cancer. And they say that 40 to 60% of the women that get the cancer are black women. Because they go and change their hair almost every 3 weeks. And every time they start putting that stuff in your hair and making your hair longer? Because that's what they're doing it for. Those dyes that they're putting into your head is going into your bloodstream, it's going into your body, your system, and it's causing cancer. When you start to add all the other things that are cancerous, the powders, the deodorants, and all of those things, it's a slow death.
Wow.
So our sisters, because sometimes they're not changing the dress and not elevating their consciousness to the level that will free you, because it said that your salvation shall be a hoard of wisdom unto you. That's how we're being delivered, by the wisdom of the teachers. It's not just the Tanakh that's a trap. It's not just serving another God. It's all those things, their clothing. Some of their materials are sending wrong messages to your body when you're making those mixed materials and not getting cottons or pure wools and what have you. And because the Creator knows these things, He's trying to use teachers to tell us, but a lot of times we don't want to listen because we want to stay in fashion and in style. You are different. You are supposed to be separate. Quados, or holy people, means you don't do what everybody else do. You can't do it because you're going to be punished for it. At a time, sometimes because of His mercies, He doesn't punish us right away. But the closer we get to the end of days, and we're getting very close to it, all of these things are going to trigger in. You're going to be punished if you don't follow the instructions and the wisdom. And so that's why we have to make sure that we listen, because sometimes when a Cohen Levy or Rabbi Matthews or Cohen Zadok, Saron tell us something, we don't hear. But when the white man tell you you're going to get cancer and you're getting it, people listening now. So now some of us saying, well, did I already start the cancer? Because it might already be in your body. You should be asking yourself, how many times did I go in there and they put that stuff and dyed my hair and all of that other stuff? And so, again, you got to realize, everybody is supposed to realize you can't mix materials. You can't mix plants that you put. You try to get animals to be cross-gendered or mixed, hybrid. You can't do that with your own self. Why would He give you wisdom to not have clothing, cotton and wool, not mix your gender of animals with one another, and then you can go and mix up and do anything? No, just don't make sense. You got to have the wisdom, the knowledge, and the understanding to realize why you don't do certain things. Just like before, they used to put fluoride in the toothpaste. But then, yeah, but we got wise. We found out what it does. And all the people who are wise say, I'm going to use neem, I'm going to use this, I'm going to use that. And other people say, no, I like the taste of that toothpaste. So because of the taste, they kill themselves and destroy themselves. They have to use your wisdom. I hope I've answered the question, Ted.
Shabbat shalom. Alright, so I understood what Corn said, but like, what about the people that wear foreign apparel, but at the same time they're wearing their GTs and the kippot?
We have a jersey, basketball jersey, can be made with 4 corners. You could be on a basketball court, and you can still have your fringes on. And if you were to play that, even let's say if a person is a policeman or a fireman, you're not going to keep your job wearing fringes on the police uniform. Therefore, you go to work, that's your job. When you leave your job, you wear your culture. Same thing. Right now, today, it's only because Israelites stood up and said that the kippot is their culture, that I can walk in a courtroom or a classroom and that judge will say, is that a religious hat? Yes, it is. Just nod. And he said, you can keep it on. It's because Muslims, you look at the Indians, he can wear his turban anywhere because he stood up for his culture. You look at the women in Islam. They wear their culture everywhere. People respect them because they stood up. We're the community that don't understand that issue, and that's because they understand that they're standing up for a cause that they have committed to. We don't commit to our cause, and our cause is the Holy One of Israel. That's why you're going to get punished. We never listen to him. That's why this generation is the only generation that will be given a chance, and he already said, I know all y'all ain't going to listen. Even as Cohen is telling you that, you ain't going to listen. That's why I'm only going to take a remnant of you. Only going to be a remnant, because everyone is not committed to the level that they have. Commitment starts first with the family. If the Kohanim and the Morin and the Mishara team are not committed to hold it up, because that's who they're looking to, you have to be that example. Regardless of what they do, you uphold a standard, because that's what they're looking at. And so a lot of these young youth in here, when they look around and they see the Kohanim and the Morim, they are choosing who they want to be like. You're influencing these children. When they see you in Walmart and you don't have on your katonet and your culture, that boy walks by and say, oh, he just half-time Israelite, I'm going to be like that. So again, you have to be consistent. Steadfast means consistent. Are you a part-time Israelite? Shabbat Israelite? Daytime Israelite but not nighttime? Uber I'm not, but when I'm out of Uber I am? You got to figure it out. Yah said, do this with all your heart, with all your soul, and all your might. Toda Rabbah.
Shabbat Shalom again. And adding on to the question about culture, and this is an honest question. We have a beautiful culture, as we know of today or whatnot. But how do we know that how we are dressing today is our culture, is what the Creator, other than, of course, what he said about the fringes and cords of blue and dressing for beauty and holiness? How do we know, how do I know that this dress I have on is what I'm supposed to have on as a woman and as a man you're supposed to have on?
It's an excellent question. Wonderful. Culture evolves. There's no culture that has ever remained the same. The culture is set by the generation that is living at that time. These fringes are not what Abraham wore or anyone else in those days and times. You came into law and there was a standard that was set, whether you came in the kingdom, a Shabbat Israel, Judaism, whatever way Yah led you, you are supposed to uphold that until he takes you and shows you another way of doing it. There are people who are in Judaism culture and the culture that has been the Jews passed on to Israelites. If that's your test to see whether you could do that, then you might come out of Judaism and begin to carry a staff like this. You might get put out of a Jewish synagogue carrying a stick. They would call it, but we call it a staff. So again, we've established this because we looked in our culture book and saw that in history, our fathers carry staffs. We know they have a mifneset. A mifneset is a turban. A tavul is a wrapped piece of material that is worn, and we know that's a culture. I know Rastafarians who, when I told them that your wrap is a woman wrap, because in our culture, there's a difference between a woman's turban and a man's turban. So it's been standards set up how the man's turban look and how the female. You get a brother coming in here with Tamika's turban on. Take a look at it. Imagine a brother coming in here like that. Everybody be looking over there and saying, what's up with that? Because we know that turban is a turban that women wear. We look at More Yaya, and everybody's seen that turban has been established generation of Israelites, Ben Azakim, Shabbat Yisrael, because this generation is establishing the culture for this day and time. That's why the Creator says in Deuteronomy, the 17th chapter, if there be a controversy between plea and blood and blood, then you come unto the priest, who shall show you in the law and give you the judgment as to what? And he said, the priest that shall be what? In those days. Because every day, the priest of today is not the priest of Aharon. The culture of today is not the culture of Aharon. But there's been a standard still being set. It will continue to evolve into what is supposed to be set by the Holy One of Israel. So everybody, right?
Okay, last question. Go ahead. Maybe after? Okay, after.
Shabbat Shalom. This message is for you again, Cohen. I'm sorry for putting you on the spot. But it has to do with the culture. I know that we are now fellowshipping with other Israelites that do things a little different. I was wondering if you got into a conversation with the family of Chester on why women do not wear earrings, or do you know anything that, although I'm not going to say that I know everything in the Tanakh, but I do know that I never saw anything in the Torah about us not wearing earrings. So I want to know if you have any insight on why they say that's part of the culture of not wearing earrings.
That's my first time hearing that. You never noticed? I never noticed.
When I came into the United States, the first Shabbat that I observed was in the Chester community. The Revi'i, following that Shabbat, I returned and had probably a 5-hour conversation with Abba Kohelet and Moreh Ezra. Last week, or this week, I also visited again on Revi'i and had a 7-hour conversation with him without eating a meal. Vishadai and I was there. We would have stayed to 12 o'clock if Vishadai didn't have to go, because we were deeply engrossed in the conversation. Food wasn't an issue, and we both were sharing ideas. What I have been told is that they do not say that it's not a part of our culture. That's a rule in their congregation. So if you went there and you had on jewelry, they're not telling you to take it off. A community has a right to set the rules that they want for their community. You should respect their rule in the fact that what? They're not asking you to take it off, but don't start criticizing us because we decided that we don't want to wear jewelry. At one point in our history, because of our iniquity, Yehovah stripped us of our jewelry. Take off all your ornaments, because I'll look at that, I'll kill every one of you right now. You're trying to be holy and wearing holy stuff, but you're doing evil all day long. So he had us take it off. Maybe that's why they're doing it. I don't know. But if it's just a rule in their community and they're not teaching, because the Torah, as you said, clearly lets us know we wore earrings, no Jews, even male and female. That's there in Exodus. So just understand that if you're going to visit someone, respect the rules of their house. And again, that's all I can say at that point to that.
Shabbat Shalom. We were reading earlier. It said, "Accept the God of my father, the God of Abraham, and the fear of Isaac." What did he mean by the fear of Isaac?
That's a good question.
Whenever you as an Israelite are in the presence of someone who's a Christian, or someone has another deity that they, again, pray to, your prayer or your swearing cannot be in the name of that God that he's talking about. So what Yitzchak was saying is that I swore, according to how my father, he feared the Creator. That's my fear. Or he could say what? That's my power. I'm swearing before my help. I'm swearing before the one I acknowledge. And that's all that he's saying. He swore not by Nakors and his father's God. Those was idols. I swear by the fear and the power of Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, my fathers. That's a message to all of us. That we follow the way, we swear, if we're going to make a vow, it's not valid unless you make it to the Holy One of Israel. Torah. Is it clear? Good question.
Question and answer period is now closed.
I am so proud of these yellow men. We need to give them a round of applause. And the flavor, that was beautiful. You did that as good as the Kohanim do it.
All right. Hallelujah. All praises to the Most High. Beautiful day, beautiful youth Shabbat. Hoping and praying that we can continue on. I know he's behind the scenes, but I want to acknowledge him. Let's give him a warm round of applause for Aparitia. He's actually responsible getting the youth together to do this, the youth Shabbat, and he does a great job. He bonds with them. He not only sees them on Shabbat, but he sees them during the week, and he bonds with them, male and female alike. And so he's responsible for helping the youth to grow and to encourage, as we all should be doing. But I know that he's the point man, so blessed be the name of Yah. Hallelujah. At this time, we're going to begin to close out. If you would all please stand before Yah. We're going to sing the song Yerushalayim in a few days. Our Kohen will be, Yah willing, in the land of Israel. And, walking upon the very grounds that our forefathers walked on, and being in Jerusalem, and he's mentioned Mitzpeh Ramon and Dimona and all these places that you can find in the Tanakh. So may the Most High bless him, allow him to have safe travels, and may Yah return him back safely once again, and just waiting to see and hear that wonderful report that he's going to give us when he goes. Hallelujah. We'll be back on the 2nd. So he'll be with us one Shabbat before going back to Guyana. So we'll be on pins and needles waiting for that report. Go ahead. Hallelujah. But let us sing the song, Yerushalayim, down on page 2, even in our song booklet, as we begin to close out. By the rivers of Babylon, yeah, we sat down and we cried. When we remember Jerusalem, we were sick, one near to dying. Jerusalem, 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 land where our fathers served Yahweh. Our captors and of us a song to make birth in a strange new land. If I forget thee, Jerusalem, may I cut off my own right hand. Jerusalem, 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 land where our fathers served Yahweh. who's in our city. Praise it, praise it. Rise show no city for Jerusalem, 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 land where our fathers served Jerusalem, 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 land where our fathers served Yahweh. Hallelujah. On page 11, my brothers and sisters, please join me in saying these words together as we close out our most beautiful Shabbat day. These words read on this wise. Sacrifices and meal offerings are not found in our hands. Father of mercy, yet thy law standeth firm. Accept the words of our lips and the murmurings of our hearts. Receive our prayers in mercy and in favor. Grant us joy and gladness. Comfort thy people. Yehovah answered thee in the day of trouble. The name of the power of Israel set thee up on high. Draw us not away, Yah, with the wicked, for our delight is in thy word. Let thy word heal us and cause us to prosper. Cause thy wisdom to blanket Israel. Let the visions of the righteous be our lot. Yea, even the dreams of thy redeemed, our good fortune. Draw us with cords of love, and let our borders be truth. Into thy hand I commit my spirit. All praises unto thee, O Yah. We have thought of thy loving kindness. We rejoice in the house of Yah. Come behold the works of Yah, and rejoice in the same. For he has rescued his people Israel. He has called forth the dispersed of Yaakov. He caused his righteousness to stand where calamity was. For such is our power forever and ever. He will be our God henceforth eternally. Sing his praise aloud. Hallelujah. Shema. Shema. Yisrael. Yahuwah. Eloheinu. Yahuwah. Hallelujah.
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 Ata Yehovah Elohim. Elohe Avraham. Welohe Yitzchak. Welohe Yisrael. Ata ha Elohim. Asher Bakar Tanu. Mikal ha-amin. Asher Barita al Pene ha-adam. Washir Samta, Beritka, Banu Ubika, Lihiyot Laka Am, Bagan King Laka Lihiyot Lanu, Lelohi, Toda Rabba Yehovah Elohim,
Ki ata el gadol. Wekibor. Rav bechesed ve'emet. Toda Rabba Yehovah Elohim. Lakal devar ka shirata ose. Wa'asita. Wa'ashirata ta'ase ba'adenu. Uf'akal mishpekot b'nei Yisrael. Toda Rabba el yom. Ki ata lo shakata et habrit. Asher nishbata bishmeka. Hagadol v'hanora. Toda Rabba Adonai Yehovah. Ki hekwam tanu mimitatenu. Od pa'am lihiot chayim. Weki lo shakaktanu. Ata be'emet Eloheinu. Hoshienu. Malkeinu. With Sidiquenu. We'ain od. Na Yehovah berachameka. Tirakein et amka. Wetihiye imanu na Yehovah. Wetishmerenu wetivarkenu. Wetatzilenu mikal ra. Nisayon. Ge'a. Gaon. Wakal zadon. Asher bequir ben. Webesivo ven. Titraket elibotenu. Wetishmerenu. Wetolikenu bidrakim. Wetekazek et mishtadlenu. Lashuv leka. Lekayim et torat ka od pa'am. Kasher asu avotenu bi mehem. Titwada na Yehovah et Shemka. Bekal ha'arsot. Asher hefitzka et amka et ha'Yisraelim. Wetilakwet otanu na Yehovah. Mekal mekwomo. Asher hefitzkanu. Tilakwet otanu na Yehovah. Watashiv alenu od pa'am. Watasim alenu od pa'am. Eta shalom berukotenu. Et toratka belibotenu. La'asot velora lidabir. Toda Rabba al kal tufka asher tavtanu. Wetihiye in yeladenu. Kihe atidenu. Tihiye in sit in kol zitnenu. Anshenu nashenu. Kol hayeladim hahiwaldim bequir be imehem. Tihiye imam. Wetivarek ekulanu. Wetolikenu bidrakim. Na Yehovah, lema'an shem gadleka. Toda le Shabbat ka. Ki hu haya tov lanu. Wetoda le kohen. Ki hu haya bequir benu hayom. Velamed et amka Yehovah Elohim. Lidabir ba'ad shemka hagadol v'hanora. Toda Rabba al kal tuka. Ba'al kal hadvarim ha'ele asher asita ba'adenu. We'al tishkakenu na Yehovah. We'al ta'azvenu. We'tasim otanu bemekomenu. Beshalom. Uveta. Uvhatzlaka. Od pa'am. Lema'an shem gadleka. Toda Rabba al kal ele. Mehulal vorak. Ata Yehovah. Ate ad. Hallelujah. 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 Wetihiye im hamilim haze. Ashanu midabri we mitpalalim. Ba'ad shemka hagadol v'hanora. Baruch Yehovah. Babu Quir. Baruch Yehovah. Besorai. Baruch Yehovah. Be'erev. Baruch Yehovah. Belayla. Baruch Yehovah Yom Yom. Baruch Yehovah Tamid. Yehovah Eloheinu. Bavak B'shah. Lishmoa Kanu, Nicole Devarim, Ra'im, She'asinu, Lefaneka, Yom Yom. Weliyot Imanu, Kol Ha'ala Lama'an Shem Ka Yehovah, Elohei Abraham, Yitzchak, Yisrael, Elohei Avotenu Ve'eli, Lishmoa Bekolina, Im Terese Otka, Lama'an Shem Ka Yehovah. Hallelujah! 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 Behulal varak ata Yehovah ade ad. Selah.
O Shema Yisrael, Yahovah Eloheinu, Yahovah Eloheinu, Yahovah Eloheinu, O Shema Yisrael, Yahovah Eloheinu, Eloheinu, Yahovah Echad. O Baruch Ekehu, Malchut Tole Olam, Malchut Tole Olam, Malchut Sole olam bubaru, Shakebo, Ambu, Sole olam
Hallelujah. We look now unto the Holy One of Israel, asking that he would bestow upon us a blessing for his great name's sake. I have not the power to bless you. I can only utter the words found in the book of Numbers, the 6th chapter, and the 24th verse. May Yah bless us all for his great name's sake. Yivarek ka Yehovah wa yishmarecha. Ya'ir Yehovah panayo elecha vechunecha. Yisa Yehovah panayo elecha wa yasim lecha shalom. Yehovah bless thee and keep thee. Yehovah cause his face to shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Yehovah lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. Hallelujah. Hallelujah, Becorah. Hallelujah, Becorah. Hallelujah, Becorah, Shabbat. Hallelujah, Kol Hanshama. Hallelujah! 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 Yachad! 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 Oh, Hasman! Oh, Hasman! Oh, Hasman! Amen. Hallelujah! Please be seated just for a few more minutes.